the Bills have added Jace Sternberger. And everyone goes, who? Fucking what? It doesn't matter. He's just another guy.
I've heard of him.
I've heard of him too. When he was drafted, he was talked about being this tight end. I believe the Saints drafted him. And the concept is that he's a vertical threat. He's not going to give you much as a blocker, but he will catch the ball as you go down the field. Let's take a look at this. Here we go. Okay, he's played 18 NFL games.
Packers, third round.
Okay, Packers, third round. And they go, he's a vertical threat. He can do some things. What does he have? 15 targets with 12 catches, 114 yards, and a touchdown in 2020. That's it. That's his only work in the NFL to speak of. Small sample size. Then he goes to the USFL, and he's one of the best players on the field. He's a man playing with boys. So the Bills pick him up and make him a depth tight end. But the thing is, who is he competing with here? Quintin Morris? Quintin Morris was an undrafted free agent rookie who also has no real stats of merit. Like, yeah, if you pull up his USFL stats and then look at Quintin Morris on Pro Football Reference, if you could pull up Quintin Morris in a separate tab.
All right.
Okay, here we go. So we're about to compare this. Now, one of them, Jace Sternberger, while you look for that, I'll talk about Jace Sternberger. Jace Sternberger playing in the USFL, fourth in the league with 517 receiving yards, 7 receiving touchdowns, which was the most of any player in the USFL. Like, his receiving chops are good enough that you can't discount the fact that you're like, well, he's a street free agent. He was playing against other guys who were better than most college guys who don't make the NFL, and he scored 7 touchdowns. Quintin Morris, on the other hand, was an undrafted free agent rookie, and Chris, what does he have? 1 touchdown, 11 targets with 8 catches, 84 yards to his name. Jace Sternberger has just as much production in the NFL as Quintin Morris. There is a legitimate battle to be had here for who's going to be this third tight end if you're talking about Sternberger versus Morris. And the thing that I want people to familiarize themselves with now, here in week 1, so that you can move into weeks 2 and 3 of camp and watch this through the right lens, or at least the way I'm looking at it, is this idea that, again, who they pick here is going to tell you a lot about the philosophy of the team. Right now, who do they have at tight end, Chris? Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid. Those guys are both primarily pass catchers. Neither one of them have made their bones being a run blocker.
No.
Okay. So if I go to so now I'm going to look this up. If I go to Pro Football Focus, because I just want to see some of the numbers. If I go Quintin...
We also have Joel Wilson.
Who?
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever that is.
At tight end.
Joel just not going to be here. Just not going to be here in September. That's it. That's all I need to hear. When you look at the overall rankings for Quintin Morris, it's not great, right? Like, he does some things well, but he's not a great run blocker. He's not a great pass protector. He's just a guy who's an athlete playing the tight end position. Well, so is Jace Sternberger, and he's proven that. He's proven that he has some receiving chops. If you've decided that you're going to funnel your offense through tight ends that catch the football and stretch the field, and that's what you want in a Kincaid, Knox, 2 tight end offense, then it would make sense almost that you want a third tight end who can replicate what those guys do in the event of injury, correct?
Yeah.
This battle has real chops, and I feel like no one's talking about it. I feel like it's not a thing that anyone's discussing. Quintin Morris is not a lock for this roster. He hasn't done anything to warrant that, I believe. And realistically, Sternberger is a player who, if you want to talk about a vertical passing game, he can give you things that Quintin Morris simply can't, right? Like, it's just not what he's going to be. If you look at any of the draft profile stuff on what the 2 players were supposed to be, Sternberger is the guy who they go, he's a seam threat, he's this, he's that. Quintin Morris was an afterthought. And he was an afterthought last year in the Bills' offense. I feel like there's a good chance, and I can't handicap it yet. I'm going to try by next week after reading the camp reports. I want to revisit this, but I'm going to be paying very close attention to how those two jockey for position and reps. And I'm going to, some of the guys we know who will be on the sidelines, I'm going to put a bug in their ear and go, hey, just keep an eye on this for me. Come back to me and let me know how it goes. Because I have a feeling that Sternberger could make a big push for tight end 3, and no one's really giving him his due.